Hello. How are you doing? This is Craig back from stopdrinkingexpert.com, the website that helps people escape the loop of problem drinking. Today, I want to tell you about my new book, which is called Anxiety Lied to Me. Can you see what I did there? So I've been working on this for a while now, and a lot of people I know are drinking because of anxiety, depression, panic attacks, that sort of stuff. And so I think this book kind of crosses over and should be really applicable. So I just wanted to flag it up here. But also because I got an email today of Lana asking me to talk about loneliness and drinking because of loneliness. So I thought it was a good time to bring up the new book and connect the two together, because loneliness and anxiety, they're common bedfellows. They're mental health issues more than anything else. And they're both a bit deceptive. You know, with anxiety, people who don't suffer with it tend to disregard it a little bit. They're like, oh, you're just a bit of a worry head, aren't you? Just why don't you stop worrying so much? And that people who say that are missing the point, because worry is not the same thing as anxiety. Worry is a symptom of anxiety, in the same way that panic attacks are a symptom of anxiety. And hypochondria is a symptom of anxiety. And to a certain extent, loneliness can be a symptom of anxiety as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. So that's where people get confused. And the same thing happens with alcohol as well. You know, people come to me with problems and they skip over the problem and they tell me that what they need help with is stopping drinking. Well, you know, alcohol in 9 out of 10 cases is not the problem. It may appear to be the problem because it's the thing causing all the damage and the drama, but actually it's a symptom of a problem. In 9 out of 10 cases, people who come to me with a drinking problem, there's an underlying issue: loneliness, anxiety, depression, abusive relationship, trauma from childhood, being in a dead-end job that's going nowhere. You know, the list goes on and on and on. There's millions of reasons for the alcohol to start causing the problem, but the alcohol itself is just a symptom of the problem. And that's why I'm so down on things like AA, that basically tell you that you're a terrible, broken person and you've got to spend the rest of your life staying away from alcohol. So they take alcohol for you. Now what have you got? Now you've got a really bad problem and somebody took your coping mechanism off you. So you become what they call a dry drunk. You are free of alcohol, but you're miserable because some guy in a church hall or in a community center took your coping mechanism away without fixing the problem that it was there to help with. So that's the similarities between anxiety and alcohol. They're you know, there's an underlying cause there. So if you are interested in learning more about how you escape the loop of anxiety, then if you do a quick search on Amazon, you should find my book, Anxiety Lied to Me, or go to the website, craigbeck.com, and it will tell you more about it. So let's talk about loneliness and why it's a reason for problem drinking and what you do about it. Let me be totally blunt about this. Loneliness is not about a lack of people. Loneliness is not that you live in a small village and you haven't got any friends. That is not what loneliness is about. You could be in the middle of London with 10 million people and be lonely as hell. You can be married with 5 kids and a big family and be lonely as hell. It's got nothing to do with people and other people. Like with all problems, the solution and cause is internal. All right? Loneliness is caused by a disconnection with humanity. And that disconnection is fueled by fear. In other words, anxiety. You are disconnecting from humanity because you are afraid of something. Now, that doesn't have to be something real. It can be something fictional. And, people suffer with anxiety because they have a powerful brain in their head that's capable of amazing things, but they don't use it fully. They don't engage it. They don't distract it. And like a petulant child, this creative brain, if it's left to its own devices, is going to start writing horror stories. It's going to start writing terrible Hollywood-style catastrophe movies, and you're going to start treating them as though they're fact rather than fiction. This is the whole cause of anxiety, listening to fiction rather than fact. So you get a bit of chest pain. What does the anxious person think? The anxious person goes straight from 0 to 100. There's nothing in between. It's a binary thing, isn't it? Chest pain. I'm having a fatal heart attack. Check my Apple Watch. Oh, my pulse is racing as well. That confirms it. My breathing's a bit, I'm definitely having a heart attack. Quick, take me to the emergency room. They get so quickly to that position because their creative brain has created a story that they've treated as fact. If they listened to the genuine facts in that situation, the fear, the panic would just dissipate. They would say, I have a pain in my chest. I wonder what's causing that. Could be a muscle strain, could be anything. And once you dismiss it like that, if it's anxiety related, it just floats away, stops. And so if you're suffering with loneliness, and that's why you drink, it's because your creative brain has started creating narratives about humanity. And for the most part, they're based on spurious evidence. Perhaps you believe that people just want something from you. It's hard to make friends because nobody seems genuine these days. They just want to be your friend because they want something from you, or because you're a higher social standing than them and they want to use you as a leg up. Maybe you'd think that people can't be trusted. People say things behind your back. People are two-faced. Maybe you think animals are nicer than humans. All of these statements are just a generation of your over-creative mind. And it's not doing it to annoy you. It's not doing it to isolate you. It's doing it to protect you. It's decided that you've been hurt by people in the past. And the best way to protect you from that happening again is to create this narrative that other people are out to get you. Other people are going to hurt you. Other people are unreliable and dishonest and not trustworthy, and all these other negative labels that we create. And so you find yourself shying away from meeting new people. You find yourself sitting at home, preferring your own company. And that can be pretty boring. And the problem with having this really creative mind is that it's a blessing and it's a curse. The blessing is you can create all sorts of things. You can push yourself beyond your physical capabilities. You can astound people with what you can create. You can paint, you can sculpt, you can write, you can do all these amazing creative things if you want to. That's the blessing. But the curse is it never stops. It never gives you a moment's peace. It never gets to the end of the day and says, whew, I'm so tired. Let's just chill out. Your crazy brain is always going, and now what? What can we do now? What can we do now? Because it's a petulant child, right? So you've created this false narrative about humanity. You're isolating yourself, and now you're home alone and you're bored. And you want to shut this thing off. You just shut up. Just shut up. Stop it. Leave me alone, right? You discover alcohol. Alcohol sedates your crazy brain and brings it down to a normal person's level. And you get a sense of relief. You're like, oh, that's better. I feel so relaxed now. Oh, wow, that really hit the spot. But of course, it's just a temporary relief. And you're going to pay the price massively for that temporary relief later down the line, aren't you? So the way to fix this is You have to be a little bit hyper aware of your decision making over the next few weeks. I want you to start trying to float above yourself and watch your decisions as though you're a third person. That sounds a bit schizophrenic, I know, but imagine you're in the audience and you're watching a play and you're analyzing the performance of the actor. You're saying, okay, I see what he did there. He did that because he wants to set this up. That's what you need to do. You need to analyze your decision making. Why are you choosing to isolate yourself? And go into the detail of why you're defaulting to that. And you should be able to see that your reasons are based in fiction. You will have a story you can tell yourself as to why you're lonely or why you can't meet people. You will have a story ready to go. If it helps, write it down and then go through it super critically and say, is this fact? Or am I super generalizing here? Am I catastrophizing? Am I assuming that my emotions equal reality? Because these are all actions of an over anxious brain. And we all do it when, at times. But when you get so deep down the rabbit hole, it becomes your default. You don't even know you're doing it. So what statements do you make to yourself to explain away your loneliness? There is never really a genuine answer to that question, by the way. Because if it was purely about being around other people and meeting other people, I don't care where you live, there's an opportunity to meet other people. Maybe you have to go out your way a little bit. Maybe you have to step out your comfort zone. Maybe you have to go and do things that you don't particularly want to do, but hey, it serves a purpose. There's always a way to meet other human beings, which is more evidence to support the theory that, loneliness has got nothing to do with the lack of humanity. It's to do with a disconnection from humanity that started in your own over creative mind. So be aware of your decision making and be super critical of where you're getting your data from. If your data to support a decision is based in fiction, you're going to need to consciously do something different. You're going to have to listen to facts rather than emotions. It's a complicated subject, I know, and probably not worth going into in this short video. But if you are interested in understanding yourself a little bit more in the context of anxiety, loneliness, OCD, panic attacks, eating disorders, anything like that, then this book should help you. And you can find details at the website, craigbeck.com. All right. Thanks for watching. If you are worried about your drinking, go to stopdrinkingexpert.com right now and sign up for today's free quit drinking webinar. And I'll see you